Welcome back to another episode of Skin Essentials. I'm Lorena and this is Emma. And today we are going to be talking about the gut microbiome and how important it is and how it contributes to a lot of skin conditions that we see on a daily basis. So, Emma, let's talk a little bit about some of the skin conditions that we see that are more gut related.
Yes, absolutely. So, the main ones are, rosacea, atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema, sometimes acne, especially like the treatment resistant acne. We know we've done everything topically we can think of, and nothing is really touching it. It might get a little bit better, and then it comes back with a vengeance. So, there really is this connection, like this really strong connection between the gut and the skin.
Right.
And that's, if we think that could be causing some of our issues, then we can kind of start to go in that direction and start to slowly rebalance the gut or eliminate the things that could be causing this kind of dysbiosis.
Like what?
Dairy is a big one. Dairy is just very pro-inflammatory. And especially with, if you're not doing organic dairy, the antibiotics in it, and even like a low-fat dairy has more thickeners in it that aren't natural. So even though, we're always like, oh, low fat, like actually doing like an organic whole milk is probably the best option. If you don't want to eliminate dairy altogether, you could try that first. Wheat is another one, especially non-organic wheat, because of the glyphosate or Roundup that is on our wheat. A lot of people are reacting badly to that. And then besides that, it could just be kind of an imbalance and not enough bacteria. If you want to go over like a few kind of things people could do to diversify their gut microbiome.
Sure, yeah. One of the things that you can start to incorporate in your diet is more pre and probiotics. And that'll give you a good balance of good bacteria that you need and that we have like throughout our body. And then more fiber in our diet as well. And more of you can find a digestive enzyme that'll help break down in the gut and help absorb more nutrients throughout the body. One of the things that I take is athletic greens every morning. It has the pre, the pro, and the digestive enzyme as well. And so you're able to absorb those nutrients a little bit better. And that'll help re-establish that good bacteria in the gut to help rebuild and strengthen that gut lining, which is going to be responsible for even more other concerns like leaky gut syndrome and stuff. So
yes,
but we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like eating the rainbow, as they say, getting lots of different fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, not always cooking them, eating them raw as well to get all that good fiber. It also just, antibiotics.
Right. Medications.
Sometimes you need them. But just to be aware, especially if you're noticing this change, right after starting new medication or after a round of antibiotics, not to say don't take it if you need it, but that might be a time to really try to kind of rebalance and reintroduce the good bacteria to your gut to because otherwise you might get, sometimes people go in these cycles of just getting sick constantly and they've destroyed their gut health, and then they're just more susceptible to illness, and it's just kind of this cascading effect
because it's tied to also your immune system.
Yes.
Right.
And brain fog and just so many different things, just kind of slowly, I think, those are like perfect examples of just like some small little lifestyle changes that we can make and see if they make a difference. And, even if they don't immediately, probably long term they will, because if we're just overall healthy, it is going to show in our skin, how we feel, how we think.
Right.
It just, everything is
these small
connected.
changes will improve the mood, your energy levels, your sleep patterns. So they will improve a lot of things. And by the timeline she's referring to, it's like give it like 3 weeks to 3 months before you start to see a difference in the skin.
Yes, absolutely.
Before a difference in the gut. And so most of the time that'll pair and sync together anyway. So you'll start to see a difference in your overall lifestyle. We mentioned diet, of course, but that also leads to a more like healthier diet, which means weight loss as well, which can have a huge effect on your gut. But because you're cutting out those unhealthy foods, which those unhealthy foods are the ones that are causing the inflammation in the gut, in the skin, and giving you a lot of other issues that you're going through.
Yes. One kind of gross but important story
Yeah.
to add to that is they've done like fecal
Oh yeah.
transplants,
Yeah.
and someone who was obese got a fecal transplant from someone who has never had a weight issue, maybe higher energy, and they'll lose weight. And it's because those bacteria are signaling to the brain like, oh, I want this fruits and vegetables, and the other bacteria, or maybe like the lack of bacteria that they had before, was only used to highly processed, highly sugared, or not
Bad
highly sugared
diet.
food, but like a
A
bad
bad diet.
diet, and was only craving that. And so it's just that really, like, when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like that really drives the point home of
How
how
important.
how important it can like completely change someone, not just the way they look, but the way they think, the way they think about food, really everything.
Mood, energy levels.
Yes.
Yeah. Skin.
Yes. So I think that kind of wraps it up. I mean, we're going to do another episode about the skin, because our skin has its own microbiome.
Right.
We can't really affect the gut just by putting something topically on our skin the way we can affect the skin by putting something into our gut.
Exactly.
So the gut's very important.
Yeah.